Not all audio interfaces are created equal. Before you drop hundreds or even thousands of dollars on one, let's make sure you're getting exactly what you need. Welcome to Strums to Stage. I'm Andrew Wink. In this video, you'll learn the three most important things to consider when buying an audio interface so you can record, create, and perform with confidence. So what is an audio interface? Simply put, an audio interface is a piece of hardware that converts an analog electric audio signal and converts it into a digital signal to be used within a device such as a computer, phone, or tablet, and can also take a digital signal and convert it back into an analog signal for speakers or for headphones. So in this drawing here, we have our source, which in this case is a microphone, but this can also be a instrument cable from a guitar or a keyboard. Plugs physically into the audio interface, and the audio interface sends a digital signal into the computer. The computer can also send a digital signal out into the audio interface, and the audio interface converts that back into an analog audio signal for use with speakers or headphones. So the 3 points we're going to look at for this video is our inputs and outputs, what features we need on it, and our price points. So let's look at inputs and outputs first, which is the most critical part of what you need when you're considering an audio interface. So for the inputs, how many inputs do you need for what you want to accomplish? If you're simply recording vocals or guitar at home, you're only going to need an interface with one or two inputs. If you're recording drums or recording a small band all at the same time, you may need more inputs, somewhere between 3 and 8, depending on the sound that you're going for. And if you're in for a larger band or more elaborate mic setups, you're going to need more than 8 inputs. For outputs, this also depends on what gear you need at home. Are you content with just listening on headphones or a set of studio monitors? Or do you need multiple monitors for reference for mixes, for example? Or do you even use outboard gear? In this case, the majority of at-home musicians are going to be fine with an interface with two outputs. But if you're using more equipment, you're going to need more outputs with your interface. So next up, we're looking at features. And this really depends on two different questions. Are you okay with a simple setup where literally all you need to do is just plug in your microphone, plug in your headphones, and you're ready to roll? Or do you need something with a little more bells and whistles, maybe some advanced routing, built-in effects, et cetera, et cetera? Because these do impact what audio interfaces you have. So for looking at some sample features in simple audio interfaces, most of them are going to be a simple USB connection and are bus powered. So what that means is that they'll get power from the computer and you won't need to plug in any other cables besides that and your sources. Additionally, all interfaces are going to have some degree of direct monitoring, some function about how to do that. And what I mean by direct monitoring is directly monitoring the source that you put in. So for example, if you plug in the microphone and turn on direct monitoring, you're going to hear it nearly instantaneously. Whereas if you leave direct monitoring off and just monitor from your software, there may be a degree of what's called latency or a little bit of delay in between, which can be frustrating to work with, particularly if you're recording. Next up, they'll have set stereo headphone outputs that you can plug your headphones directly into. And one feature to consider for both simple and advanced audio interfaces is the form factor. So this essentially dictates the shape of the unit and how accessible the controls are. For a desktop unit, these controls are typically going to be on the top or maybe on the front, but it's going to be more easily accessible if it's just laid flat on the desk. Whereas something that is rack mount version, all the controls are going to be on the front. So moving on to advanced features, one of the first features that you'll come across is a different type of connection, kind of Thunderbolt connection versus a USB connection. When compared to USB, Thunderbolt improves latency, and you'll typically see it a lot more on more premium audio interfaces. Additionally, some audio interfaces will have built-in software routing, so you can change the inputs and outputs and where they need to go on the interface itself rather than just through your DAW. They'll also have built-in effects, and some nowadays having a cool feature called auto gain, where you press a button, turn on the mic, talking to it for a little bit, and then it will automatically set up some of the settings that you need to do so you can be up and rolling a lot quicker. And another advanced feature you'll come across is what's called ADAT expansion. So you can actually connect preamps into this audio interface and expand your inputs and outputs even more, which is really handy for professional studios or musicians that are looking to record full bands at the same time. And lastly, the third thing to consider, price. I have three different broad budget categories here. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide how much you are willing to spend on these audio interfaces, but you'll find a lot of great stuff within all three of these categories. So the first one is budget, which is typically less than $500. These are great for musicians new to set up, but also for professional musicians who just need something really simple, something to just plug in and play, and then you're off and recording. Mid-range, which falls in between $500 to $1,000, this is the sweet spot of affordability and features. So this is great for a premium simple setup that you want less inputs but more features, or a moderate advanced setup, more inputs, less features. This is a good balance in between. And then lastly, the premium category, which this is for $1,000 or more. These are more premium components, advanced features, all that really fancy stuff. I myself have used interfaces mainly in the budget and mid-range categories and have gotten amazing results out of them. So the premium is not necessarily, you don't need to splurge on a premium audio interface to create great music. So here are some recommendations for interfaces that I have. So my current interface is this guy right here. This is the Connect 6 by Lewitt, which is a desktop form factor audio interface. It's just meant to lay flat on the desk. And there are some really, really cool features that I have with it. I have another video coming out where we do a deep dive into this interface. So to keep an eye out for that video, I'm going to share the card up here, up in the corner as well when that comes out. Additionally, here are some other ranges, suggestions that I have from different brands that I've used before. So on the budget range, we have the Focusrite Scarlett range, which this one right here is the 18920. This is the biggest and most feature packed of the bunch. So it actually falls in the mid-range category. But the Scarlett range, the Scarlett 2i2 is probably one of the most common beginner audio interfaces you'll come out, and it's got great results out of them. We also have the Presonus Studio range, and we have the Universal Audio Volt range, which this is the Volt 2 right here. I used this interface for a long time, and I got some amazing results out of it as well. In the mid-range category, we have the Focusrite Clarrett range, which I don't have a picture up here as well. And we also have the Presonus Studiolive range, which this is the Studiolive right here. Now, as a tangent, the Studiolive is not an audio interface per se. It's actually a digital mixer. So just like similar to a mixer that you would see in a music venue running the show, this would do the exact same thing, but it also works as an audio interface because it can send audio to and from a computer. The beauty with a rack mixer is that you don't need an audio interface to plug in and listen and play with each other as a band, but you will need a computer to record. Actually, you'll need a computer to record if you want to do multi-track in a certain way, but some digital mixers will have SD cards slots that you could plug into and record directly onto there. In the premium range, I included the Universal Audio Apollo range, which those are Thunderbolt audio interfaces and very fancy. But you see a lot of professionals using them. So they are really, really cool. If you want more guidance on building your recording setup or want to learn how to make the most of your recording sessions, check out my coaching program at Strums to Stage. You'll get resources, personalized coaching, and a community of like-minded musicians facing the same challenges. Links are in the description below. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you in the next video.